What is up, everybody? This is your host SuperSight, and welcome back to another video of Heyday. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a Heyday suggestion. So I'm just telling you now, that's what this video is going to be. So don't be disappointed. It's not going to be any tips and tricks and stuff you don't know. This is a Heyday suggestion, my idea. I'm just making that clear so you know, like, other people probably suggested it, well, may have suggested it as well. But I'm just like, yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. So let's go to the Daily Dirt, and then I'm just going to start explaining the idea as best possible. Now, as you can see, my favorite thing, Daily Dirt. I absolutely love the Daily Dirt, but of course, there's been a very sad problem for a very long time, and that is the fact that every single newspaper for basically, like, ever, for a long time, it's just been, well, as long as I can remember, it's basically been a very narrow, like, variety of items available in the Daily Dirt, right? Okay, so you got the absolute key to 100% wheat and corn. Those two make up massive proportions, and I'm level 59, and so for the lower level players, they probably make up even more because there's less products available, whereas for higher level players, we've got a few extra additional things, but still, and since I'm not max level, I can't say what it is exactly like at max level, but I'm assuming it would be pretty similar, and I've been lower level, and I know it's pretty similar then. But the thing is, the problem is, there's so many, like, items in Heyday, but so few of them ever show up in the Daily Dirt. And the question arises, well, why? And I've got a theory as to why. So, of course, the key to wheat and corn, the other key to, there's also often a lot of eggs in there, and sometimes indigo as well, and the other, probably wheat, and because wheat and corn, 100% are the main two, and then, of course, you've got, you know, the eggs and indigo and a couple of other things that are sort of secondary, and those bouquets, those rustic bouquets, they're also now, like, a bit prominent. But the thing is, why are we not seeing everything else? Why are we not seeing, like, how many different items have I unlocked right now? Just look at all these. Look at all these. How many times do you see, you know, like hamburgers, or feta salad, or silver bars, or chocolate? I think I've only seen chocolate cake, like, less than 5 times in the whole time I've played Heyday, to the best of my knowledge. Other things, you know, like bracelets, you know, things like lobster sushi, like toffee. You never see these things, like, ever. Literally almost ever. Beeswax, they hardly ever pop up, and it's kind of sad, because it's like, well, I'd like to buy those, please, not just all this same old stuff. See, occasionally you'll get a shovel, it's like, oh, a shovel, and oh no, I'm not gonna be able to buy the planks, no, oh my goodness me, did I just do that, no, I should have tapped that first. Wow, okay, see, that was a fail right then. You've Can't believe I did that. Very annoying. But the thing is, it's always been this problem where it's the same things going for sale. And on top of that, they're quite often, you know, the same price thing. So, for example, the corn's always 72 coins, and the wheat is often 36 coins. You know, 36 for 10, you know, or 10 corn for 72 coins. And it's often the same thing. And so, what I am suggesting is that the time that the ad lasts in the newspaper, which is currently 3 hours, gets decreased to 10 minutes. So right here, for example, you've got your ad, it's advertised. It's going to be in there for 3 hours, which is a very, very long time. And so, for example, if I put that in there, advertised now, so you get a new free ad every 5 minutes, and then when you advertise, it advertises for 3 hours. That will remain in there, advertising to all sorts of different people, to a lot of people, and just continually circulating, showing up in newspaper upon newspaper upon newspaper, with nobody wanting to buy it, because everyone else has got it at that price. And the problem is, this here takes too long. It lasts in the newspaper, in my opinion, way too long, because then everyone just, like, there's no incentive to price it any less, because it generally gets sold within 3 hours, but for the first, like, 2.5 hours, it clogs up everyone else's Daily Dirt. It's like, that's not my issue, someone will buy it in the end, and there's no incentive to drop the price, because you can just plonk the ad on and just leave it, and, you know, sure, it takes ages to sell, but I'll still get profit from selling it. It's just going to take ages, and, like, most of the people that see it aren't going to want it. And I think that is an issue, because then you just have these things, you know, especially, you know, the 36 coin wheat and the 72 coin corn just staying in there for way longer than it should, because, like, no one wants it and too many people are selling it. And so what I would suggest is that they decrease the time that the ad lasts in the newspaper from 3 hours to something more realistic, well, more like, you know, 10 minutes. Because then if you had it in 10 minutes, what would happen is then people would be more willing and have more incentive to sell their stuff for a lower price, the things that they know are not going to sell. Of course, the rare items, like basically everything in the barn almost, like with the exception of eggs and a couple of other things, they're still going to sell them for full price because, of course, they're instantly going to sell within 10 minutes because, everyone wants those items. But things like wheat and corn especially, which no one wants, they're going to be like, now if I sell this, for 72 coins, or if I sell my 10 wheat for 36 coins, maybe, just maybe, people aren't going to buy it for that much. And then my ad will run out after 10 minutes and I'll be stuck with it in my shop. Maybe I could try and should quite probably sell it for a cheaper price, and that's what you'd end up seeing happening, because otherwise everyone's just like, you know what, it always eventually sells, and generally it does, but although you still have some wheat, even corn occasionally depending on the time, and it literally goes for the full 3 hours and no one buys it. So not only do you not even free up your slot, but you've just wasted 3 hours worth of newspaper, like it filling up the newspaper as an ad for everyone else, which is really annoying for everyone else. And so, it's the same thing. These people, selling it all for me. It's like, I don't want to be seeing this, just as people won't want to be seeing that. But the only reason I'm, happy to do that is because I'm happy to wait, 3 hours for it to sell if it's going to sell, if it's going to make me coins. And that is a big problem, because then everyone just gets all this stuff that they don't want to see. So, like, for example, the second, as of any given second that you open the Daily Dirt, probably, 80% of it, you're not even going to consider buying. Of course, I always buy the 20 coin wheat when I can, but again, like right now, I'm just totally, well, not quite, yeah, now I'm totally full. Like, I can't even buy any more of it. But the thing is, most people are never going to buy any of that. For the wheat, they're not going to buy. The corn, they're not going to buy. And for example, just on that page alone, it's just like, there's one lot of carrots. On this one here, there's two other things, and the things that people won't buy, the bouquets. People don't want those bouquets, so it's just like all this here. See, goat's milk, a rare, non-common thing, but again, that is still one of the commoner products. It's not like the commonest, but again, it's like that's one item, and then you got pumpkins, you got some chili popcorn, so and then a bit of sugarcane. It's not many items considering the amount of Daily Dirt, and so you don't want these circulating because you want people to sell it for lower. And so then, if you make it that only lasts for 10 minutes, their ad, they'll be much more likely to sell those products which they can normally get away with, putting a 3-hour ad on. They'll be like, oh, I have to sell it for cheaper, and also I admit, it would totally destroy my current strategy of buying all this corn and reselling it for a higher price and making lots of profit, because I know I'm happy to wait 3 hours, but it's costing everyone. And so I'm saying that although, yes, I love it currently as it is, for my strategy, it works brilliantly because I just put all these ads on my stuff and it eventually sells. It's not ideal for anyone. It's not ideal for me, really, although I prefer it this way, to be honest, because it's just how that is. But then, for everyone else, and for most people that don't, buy and resell stuff, it's just a pain. And it is a pain for me as well, but I do get the benefit of doing this strategy, which works quite well with it. But it would be awesome to see much more variety in the Daily Dirt, many more things rather than just these common things again and again and again. And so that's why I think it would be a great idea to decrease that, because that would significantly help, stopping people from overpricing it. It would stop people from putting it for 36 coins. You'd see a lot more, wheat going for 10 coins. And things, if it's cheaper, people are more willing to buy it. For example, the wheat bundles. People might not have these going, but if they see 10 coin wheat, as I do, I then buy up all that 10 coin wheat, and then I can put it in here. And the thing is, as soon as I buy that 10 coin wheat, it's gone from the market, so then we'll no longer show up to anyone after that in the Daily Dirt, providing I buy up the whole shop, including the ad. Meaning that then there'll be less wheat showing up in the Daily Dirt, because, people will buy it because people are selling it for a more reasonable, cheaper price. And so then you'll be removing that wheat much quicker from the Daily Dirt, meaning that you're then removing that, you're draining the pool of wheat and corn, and then the rest of the items left, there's a larger proportion of non-wheat and corn items, so you'll start seeing a bit more variety in the Daily Dirt. And so that there is, basically what I'm trying to say. I hope I'm explaining myself well, because I have thought it through, but I don't know how well I am doing and see right here, this is a very good one, so we'll do that order right there. Oh, and then we got that one, but we haven't got those yet, so just get rid of those. Boom. Okay, so we got that, and then we got this, which we're gonna, is anyway, see, look, now the thing is here, a key, this is from other videos. Oh, and we can probably put, see another ad, and then this just makes it worse. It just makes it worse. I just keep putting more and more and more ads on, and as soon as people buy any of these ones down here, which are normal normally do. I just fill them up again. So you just have more and more and more of my ads of this 72 coin, corn circulating, and no one wants it. And it's just a mess. So a key from another video was, and we'll just grab this, since I can't afford to sell the corn, and since I'm going to get more coins, from selling it here, because then I'll be able to buy more corn for 20 coins, I'm going to get more than 20 coins. So for example, currently at the rate I'm doing, it's one corn per 2 coins, right? And so, in the Daily Dirt, although I'm trying to sell it for 72, I can't currently buy any more corn because I'm full. So therefore, as long as this offer is worth more than 2 coins per 1 corn, it's worthwhile to do. And so this, you hardly ever do that, but in this situation, it is actually worth it. For example, because if you double 153, you get that 306, and since he's offering 428, he's offering a rate of more than 2 coins per corn, and since that's the current rate that it's easily able to buy corn at in the Daily Dirt, I am going to go ahead with it. And so yes, here you go. Thank you so much. I actually really wanted someone to request that. So now I can go back in here and I can find and see this here, this cheap rate. Oh, thank you very much. We'll just grab that. Awesome. So I got all that, and then we can just go back and fill up our barn with more corn that we're going to try and sell. So yeah, see, look, just look at all this corn, and it's not just their fault. It's just as much my fault for selling it. But the problem is there's no incentive to sell your corn cheaper because you just keep getting more coins. Sure, you could technically sell it a little bit cheaper in order to be able to sell it faster. That's actually a genuine strategy. But in terms of, actually selling it for a price which it would sell on, within 10 or 20 minutes, there's no incentive to do that because you have 3 hours. And since you have so many slots, you're like, well, I'll just fill them all up and it doesn't matter if it takes 3 hours. It needs to matter that it takes 3 hours to sell something. If something takes over 3 hours to sell, it's wrong. It's clearly wrongly priced in terms of how the Daily Dirt works, because 3 hours of going through the newspaper is a ridiculous waste of space for everyone, because that means, let's say every ad, every time you put an ad on, and every 2 minutes it gets shown to 100 people, right? That means that in 3 hours, if no one bought it, 9,000 people would have seen it. Now, I don't know if it's 100 people that see each ad or not. It might be unique newspapers, but I'm not sure about that. But that's approximately, if it was 100 and they're seen every 2 minutes, that's approximately 9,000 different people would see that ad. That means one of these slots, for example, that one there, for 9,000 people, and it might be the same people it gets shown to twice, have that single slot wasted, just they in every a newspaper each, they get that wasted. But then you times me by all these other players trying to sell their corn for 72 coins, or the players trying to sell their wheat for 36 coins, and you just have constant wasted upon wasted upon wasted upon wasted upon wasted slot, and it just stays there. So that's just going to stay there, and that's no one's going to buy that, for ages. And then it's just going to keep going round and round and round and round and round, and it's just going to waste everyone's Daily Dirt slot. So everyone else is missing out on being able to buy actual stuff they would buy because these things are clogging up the Daily Dirt. And so that's why I 100% would suggest and support, and then I'm just going to be full again. I bought some of them just to sell them off at 72 coins, which will clog up everything again. See, there's really, you see milk, so that's cool. But again, this is way too disproportionate. We need way more. Definitely, the vast majority is the corn, the wheat, the indigo, and the eggs. It's we need to see more of other things that's, way more helpful. You can do, your boats faster, your trucks faster, town faster. Everything's easier, if that's the case. But currently, it's just ridiculous with all this wheat and this corn. It's crazy. And so that's something simple which would significantly reduce the amount of overpriced wheat in the market, because people would not be able to afford to sell it that much because no one would buy it, and then all their slots would fill up and be permanently filled up and they couldn't free any space. As you can see, the whole duration of this video, I'll just put on ad upon ad upon ad upon ad. I'm about to put another ad on in 40 seconds, and none of this is even selling, and it's just meaning that now, those ads are now getting shown to more and more and more and more and more people, and no one wants that. And even if they do happen to want that, they're just going to get this one, and the ad's still going to be in there, and there's still going to be corn showing up in the Daily Dirt. So that is my suggestion. Decrease the time this ad lasts from 3 hours to like 10 minutes. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly 10 minutes, you know, it could be 5 minutes, could be 20 minutes, but like way less than 3 hours. 3 hours is too long, in my opinion. So anyway, that there is my suggestion. I hope you enjoyed it. I sort of like really got into it. I'm like, this is what needs to happen, you know, this is why it's not working, this is what can fix it. But again, 100% my opinion, just making that clear. I do hope you enjoyed it though, because someone did say in my ideas and Heyday News and Ideas videos, they said, I want to hear your suggestions in that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this just as one-off one. This isn't a regular thing. I just thought, you know what? Heyday idea, why not? I've done a couple in the past, one about like, a little live eye count on how many people are in the roadside shop and stuff like that. This is one I thought, why not share it? I think it's a reasonable idea that would significantly make this a much more pleasant place to be. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it. Please do give it a like if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you're new to my channel, and thank you so much for those of you who already are subscribed. I really do appreciate it. Please leave a comment, ask me a question. I hope you're enjoying the Blossom Derby. I saw a 1,000 increase in views on my Blossom Derby video about the tips. Obviously, people were interested in tips for the Blossom Derby. Fair enough, it currently is the Blossom Derby, so I hope that video was interesting also. So anyway, I hope you have an awesome day. This has been your host, SuperSight, and remember to make coins faster than honeybees make honey.